some additional extra conditions on the special use permit, mainly for another nasty water project that, not that this one's nasty, the other nasty one everyone knows about. Basically that says if a project has adverse effects, the county can pull the special use permit. So at the end of the day, we always have the big stick, basically. So all the concerns are valid, and we want a good partnership, but at the end of the day, future boards always have that tool to, if bad, I have no reason to believe these guys are bad people, but if there ever was any bad people that come in and, well, start dropping off, or, that there's obviously bad things going on, we can jerk that, and their 2.2 billion is quite a bit of risk. So at the end of the day, we always have the card.
Is there anyone else out there on the phone or in the audience that has a question? I think you've done a great job in letting us know what this project's about, as much as we can know the impacts. So, you have your hand up, go ahead and state your name.
Hi, Terry Borgoff. I just have one question. We were talking about the road that you guys want to construct, but you don't want it to exist on the Duck Creek Highway. Where exactly are you looking at placing that?
I think he was talking about paving a dirt section, that the stretch where from where the pavement ends, potentially, one possibility from where that ends to where the access road to the upper site would be. There's several miles of dirt road that could potentially be improved to minimize negative impacts.
And is that BLM owned, or is that private property?
The dirt road currently is a county road, the Duck Creek Road. Then, and I think it's 4 miles to where you go off onto the BLM property, that's then the 2 tracks to get up to the upper reservoir.
No, so where you want to build your own road, your own access road, is that private property, or is that BLM owned?
BLM property. And that would likely stay dirt. What we're talking about is for the Duck Creek residents, that 4 miles, that if the county engineer and the residents wanted us to pave it, we would pave that to minimize dust and the effects back there.
Okay.
Up to where we turn off onto the BLM property.
Any other questions on the phone or in the audience? We are going to be acting on this tomorrow. I think you did a great job. I really appreciate all of you coming out to Ely and going to the city, the railroad. To me, you're trying to cover all your tracks and trying to let everybody know what's going on. It's a long process, and it will be public, all of it will be public, but we are looking at trying to see if it's in the best interest of White Pine County to proceed, which will be on the agenda tomorrow. That's why we have this meeting today as a special meeting, so that we can answer all the questions that are out there and try to listen to the public comment and listen to the project and what's about to take place, which would probably be, like Dave emphasized, how beneficial this would be for the next 100 years. So with all that being said, and the presentation that was given to us today, and I've asked for public comment more than once, and I think we can get ready to wrap this meeting up and get ready to proceed with the agendized items in the morning. We heard from the water board. They unanimously passed last night.
With conditions,
Well, it was unanimous, wasn't it?
with conditions.
Well, there's always conditions, but, yeah, so we have the support so far with conditions, and there's always gonna be somebody who's gonna have something to say. But we have a job to do tomorrow, on the 10:30 agenda item, to see if this is, after listening to everything, is this in the best interest of the county? This commission will make that decision tomorrow, and we'll move forward, but this is just the first phase of it. It's a long, drawn-out process. There's the state water engineers, and there's a lot to go into this, and a lot of public comment will be allowed. This is 5 years away. So there's gonna be several meetings before, and several complications, and as Commissioner Carson said, there'll be some objections, but that's the way it goes. So tomorrow, if there's no other public comment, please come forward, George.
Thank you. I appreciate you folks coming out and filling in a lot of the gaps. Did a great job. I'm really disappointed that the planning commission wasn't here. and some of the others that had concerns earlier. I learned quite a bit. I still support the project, and I hope the questions I've had in the past, most of them have been answered, but it looks like we're on the right trail. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Do
Okay,
you guys have any questions?
that's what I'm about to do before I close the meeting. Here's some more public comment.
I just want Cody on for the record. I want to thank these guys for coming in and filling the questions that we all had and basically giving us an idea of where we're at in this stage. As George said, as people have said, there's a lot of confusion on what point we were at. And I think these questions, not to blame, no fingers pointed, in its entirety, there was a lot of questions going into it and where we were at the Water Advisory Board, as it's been said in the presentation, and as Commissioner Carson stated, there was a unanimous approval with some conditions that we passed on to her as the liaison that she'll speak on whenever, tomorrow. And so I just wanted to make sure that the commission knew, especially with my concerns with the project, that I appreciate these guys coming in, and I appreciate the commission for doing this process. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cody was elected as chairman of the Water Advisory Board last night also.
And we'll be addressing Travis's resignation and possible new appointment. Okay,
On the water advisory
on the
board.
water, he's gonna be around here for a long time. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, we gotta fine tune now, what you're saying.
Yeah. That being said, I'm gonna ask one more time on the phone, is there anybody there with a comment? You're welcome. Anybody else in the audience with a comment? You're welcome. Any commissioner? Got something to say?
Just very grateful, to have everyone here today. I think this really made a difference in the process. We had everything kind of frothed up there a couple weeks ago, and I think to take the time to slow down and answer these questions, I think has really helped to give our community the big picture of what we're looking at. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this for us.
I'd like to echo the same. I mean, I voted not to have this. Obviously, there's some other things involved that were part of that decision, but, you know, definitely looking back, glad that we had this, and that it went as well as it did, and that everyone at least, you know, has the facts out there and sees this. So I want to thank everyone again that, you know, this has been great, so.
Laura, you got anything you wanna add?
I told them last night, and again today, I really appreciate you coming forward and giving us all the information, and hopefully we'll continue to do as such, because it's one thing that this community really takes to heart, is having good information and transparency, and wanting to know what is going on with developments in any way, shape, or form, as far as that goes. So I think it's important that they all want to know what's going on, let alone those that are the stakeholders. And anyhow, but I do thank you, and like I say, I hope we continue on.
Ian, are you on the phone? Okay. One last call, because I wanna be as polite as I possibly can. And anybody got anything to say before our meeting tomorrow? We really appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the comments. And that being said, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Shane. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, none, passed unanimously. Thanks again.
Thank you guys.
Based on the water commission or the water commission board.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chatchis reporting.